talking to you today about Trump right now. You know, this broadcast is all about Trump. And I dedicated this to Trump from the very beginning. And I will state, this is going to be rather succinct. I always say that, don't I? And I never do it. But anyway, okay. I believe that President Trump actually did win the election. I believe that he was on his way to an overwhelming landslide in the millions, maybe 90 million, 95 million people. We have supposedly 80 million for Biden now and 75 million for Trump. That's 150 million people, the highest turnout of any election ever. And yet, when you look back, I don't see the enthusiasm for Biden. I don't see the rallies for Biden. I see 6 people showing up for Biden. I show him speaking to no one. I see Obama speaking to an empty audience chamber. I see Harris speaking to 8 people in a parking lot. And I see President Trump speaking to 56,000 people in Pennsylvania. And yet, we're supposed to believe that he lost the election by 10 million votes. Now, I don't know how that's possible. I don't believe it. I never will believe it. I will tell you honestly and truthfully as a person, I will never, ever believe that this is a legitimate election and that President Donald J. Trump lost the election by 10 million votes. I just cannot believe that, and no one can tell me otherwise. I believe that the biggest factor was the computer. I don't think anybody was ready for that. We may have been ready for the mail-in votes. We may have been ready for the universal mail-in ballots. We may have been ready for the balloting fraud and the tens of millions of people who showed up with boxes and bags and suitcases and all kinds of things. And we have plenty of testimony. Right now, the testimony is overwhelming. There are many whistleblowers. There are many testifiers, many people swearing under oath. And yet the courts refuse to accept this testimony, accept these witnesses, accept these affidavits of voter fraud. And so it looks, and this today is the second day of December, it looks as though Donald J. Trump will not be the 45th president much longer. He will be replaced by Joe Biden, who I believe personally is mentally incapacitated. I believe that he is not going to continue to be well at all. And I believe that probably in 3 to 6 months at the max, Joe Biden will be using the 25th Amendment to get out of office, and Kamala Harris will be the president of the United States of America, a woman who wasn't even in the final rounds of the primaries in terms of her election as a candidate in the Democrat primaries. What does that tell us? It tells us that the American people have been hoodwinked. It tells us the American people have been cheated. It tells us the American people have been controlled and dominated by. Okay, first, they've been dominated by some kind of a computer cheat, Dominion Hardware, or whatever the name of these companies are. We have plenty of ample evidence, experts of the nth degree of sophistication, the nth degree of integrity, pointing out to us that statistically and analytically and algorithmic-wise, it is impossible for this outcome to come from those numbers. And yet, the media pounced on it right away. The fake news pounced on it right away. It was like revenge time. And everyone now says that Joe Biden is the victor, and he will be the president of the United States of America. And we will be subjected as the American people to lockdown, stay home, don't go out now, and put on that mask. In other words, put on that gag, don't speak out, don't go to church, don't go to gatherings, don't go anywhere socially, don't talk about it, just accept the fact that we, the press, and Zuckerberg and Dorsey have dominated you and controlled you. The Chinese Communist Party has controlled you. Put on that gag, which is the mask, and be obedient. Shut up, nothing to see here. And that's how I feel about it. I'm very angry about it. And I don't see enough anger in the Congress because these guys got reelected on Trump's coattails. And the Republicans got reelected on the Trump program, Make America Great Again. And the senators got reelected on the Trump wave that was in there. You can't tell me that all these people got reelected on the Trump program and then everybody X'd out Trump and put in Biden instead, because the author of the program and the maker of the program and the executor of the program and the champion of the program and the hero of the program is Donald J. Trump. So everybody voted for the program, and they took the head off. It's like taking the head off a snake or a chicken or anything. You know, there's nothing left. Not that Donald Trump, he's not a snake. I should have used that example. But I'm just thinking of that because I live in an area of snakes, and when you want to get rid of a snake, you have to cut off its head. That's just the way it is. Anyway, so That's what we have. An unfortunate illustration. Cut off a human's head. It's no value to it at all. So, folks, I just will never be able to accept it. I don't know why the courts won't accept it. I don't know why the legislatures won't accept it. I don't know why the electors won't accept it. I don't know why everybody is so docile and so obedient and so ununited and the like more. And I just got out of the store now, and I see this magazine cover. He's not even, the electors haven't even been chosen yet. He's been president-elect since the minute the media said he's president-elect. They don't decide these things. The legislatures of the different states decide this. The electors decide it, and eventually the Congress accepts it. So just because every magazine cover and every Time magazine cover and every other magazine cover is showing pictures of Kamala and Biden, we need to unite, one country, one people, one nation. Donald Trump said that for 4 years. The Democrats refused. Donald Trump won a legal election. It wasn't a cheated election. It didn't have voter fraud in it. It wasn't hacked by anybody on the internet. And yet for 4 years, all we heard is illegal election, illegal presidency. We will not accept. We are the resistance. And we call ourselves the persistence. And we have to be the persistence again. Because just because now the resistance is now the winner through fraud and all kinds of illegal action, in my opinion, I think the evidence is out there, and it will be proven. Trump said it the other day. He says, the evidence will show unequivocally that I won the election hands down and away by millions of votes. We have the facts, but time is not on our side. And that's because everyone is stalling so that we have to install Biden-Harris, and Trump will have to go away. That's just the way it is. And the American people see that. We're not going to have turmoil. We're not going to have instability in the government. We'll accept the burden, and we'll accept the suppression, we'll accept the gags, which is the face mask, we'll accept the house arrest, which is the lockdowns, we'll accept everything that they oppress us with, we'll accept them stealing our money through the taxation program, we'll accept them taking our guns under the thing of, well, let us heal, let us unite, let us be together again. When all this time, 4 years, they refuse, absolutely unequivocally refuse, and you all know it to be true, to heal and to unite under the greatest American president, I believe, that we've seen in our day. And I'm 73 years old. So anyway, okay, I'm going to go further than that just to say that I think President Trump said it yesterday. That was Tuesday, December the 1st, at a dinner meeting. He said, well, it's been a fantastic 4 years. And if the electors do not give me another 4 years, then it has been a fantastic 4 years. And maybe I'll run again in 2024. Okay. I'll vote for you in 2024, Donald John Trump. But, it would be better if we would have a legal election without the fraud, and you would have been elected this time around. The only thing that I think about is if he has a term in between and he runs a second time in 2024, does that mean he can be president for 8 years because there's a term in between? So the unintended consequence and the marvel of it might be that the Harris-Biden administration or the Biden-Harris, but it's going to be Harris. Let's face it, it's not going to be Biden. It's going to be Harris. That this administration is going to be so terrible and so oppressive and so destructive of American society that we will vote Donald Trump in 2024 with all the safeguards against the fraud that we didn't have this time because we had no safeguards. We had no safeguards against the fraud. None at all. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. One of the most horrendous experiences I've ever witnessed. And you can look up the testimony. You can look up the witnesses in the Arizona hearings and the Pennsylvania hearings. People of utmost integrity. You can look up the affidavits provided by Rudy Giuliani. You can look up all the testimonies of the whistleblowers and the people who are standing up and being threatened and being beaten for testifying against this fraud, against this theft of an American presidential election. Can you imagine? This is the first one since Kennedy stole the election from Nixon. There was one before. Yeah, Nixon won the election, and then 200,000 votes came in to knock him out, and Kennedy became the president. Nixon was encouraged to fight like Donald Trump is fighting, but he said, it's not going to work. They're against me. They're going to shut it down. I'll never win on a battle like that. So he just moved aside. And for that, he ran a second time and he won the election. And then he won his second election, and he got 48 out of 50 states. 40, and I believe Donald Trump got that. I think Donald Trump might have gotten 48 out of 50 states, but they wouldn't allow that, these people. And it doesn't even mean it's the Democrats. It could be just a disgruntled guy, part of the Dominion security team. Look up Michelle Malkin. Michelle Malkin has a whole series of episodes about this guy, Combe, COOMBS, I think it is, who's the security man for Dominion Software, and he said, I have arranged it so that Donald Trump cannot at all win, no doubt about it. And he bragged about his ability with the software, and he is a software genius. So we have all that. We have plenty of evidence. All right, right now I'm sitting outside. I'm watching the society go on its usual way, going shopping, buying and purchasing things, and wearing a mask, dressing up warm because it's cold. Society seems to be stable right now, and it will continue because we, the people, have decided we're going to keep it stable, and we're not going to have a revolution. We tried the revolution through the voting box. We got Donald Trump the first time. We kept the revolution going for 4 years, and then we tried it a second time. We overwhelmingly won the revolution the second time, but the forces of darkness, the dark winter of Joe Biden, the forces of darkness overwhelmed us through all kinds of sophisticated shenanigans and fraud, and now we have an illegitimate government under Biden-Harris, in my opinion. And I'm entitled to that opinion, folks, because I'm a citizen, and as long as I'm a citizen, I'll use that. And then they might try to shut me up. I expect them trying to shut us up. I really believe the Biden-Harris administration will do everything they can to shut us up, gag us, lock us down, lock us in, hound us, and unleash Black Lives Matters and Antifa on everyone who opposes them. And maybe this is the end of freedom, so this is my last chance to speak out. Who knows? I hope not, but it looks that way to me anyway. Okay, so thank you for listening. I know this may sound a little dire, and I'm still hopeful that by the end of December we'll have a different outcome and Trump will be vindicated. But really, realistically, honestly, I just don't think the powerful and even the nation itself will allow the kind of turmoil that would come from declaring the votes of 6 states illegitimate and fraudulent. I just don't think that's going to happen. And that's because the people would rather have stability and oppression than instability and freedom. That's the way we are, and that's the way we're going to have to go down, I guess. So thank you very much for listening. I'm Frederick Henry, and you've been listening to The Frederick Henry Show. And if you have a like button, please like this. If you have a way to make a comment about it, please make a comment about it. If you can share it with friends and others and boost my numbers, it would be great, because obviously it's all about how you come across in terms of audience. And I have a great audience, and thank you very much for being that great audience. But if you have a like button, or if you can follow this program, please do so, and it will be minimally an encouragement. It's not about asking for money. It's not about asking for your email address. It's not asking for donations. It's just asking you to join this family, the Frederick Henry family, be a part of this family, and click the like button and say that you appreciate the effort, and then click the subscribe button if you have such a thing, and subscribe to the podcast. So thank you again. I'm Frederick Henry, and you have a great day.